It is hard as hell to find a telephone booth nowadays. Let me do the get the rock out of your jock and turn back into Eric. This metamorphosis stuff is pretty cool, now that the Homeless Day program at Hermano Pedro has been saved. Thanks to Super Shep. Let me get back to my latest arch-enemy Mayor Vincent Gray's Chief of Staff Chris Murphy. Here is a listen to my first of many media call-outs on the office of the District of Columbia's mayor. I'm on WPFW with Rob Sims at 7:23 a.m. on December 3rd.
7:23 on the Morning Brew. Good morning to you. Homelessness is going to be a topic we are going to continually discuss here on the Morning Brew. One representative of the homeless population happens to be Eric Jonathan Sheptock, chairman of SHARC, Shelter, Housing, and Respectful Change. He's going to give us a little rundown on what homeless services are like here in the district and among some other things. Eric, good morning.
Good morning. Well, here in D.C., we have over 7,000 homeless people, and we'll count them next month. It'll probably be about 7,500 because we count them every January. There was a $7 million budget shortfall for homeless services for fiscal year 2013, which began October 1st. The homeless services were the first thing on the wish list. That's the list of things that the council will put funding into if they find additional monies. On September 28th, we found out that there was a $140 million budget surplus for DC government, and we thought some of that money would go into homeless services because it was the first thing on the wish list, but they bypassed that, and the mayor used emergency legislation to put $23 million into upgrading schools and parks, and yet he hasn't put money back in for homeless services. But in their defense, they said that they found the money within the Department of Human Services through greater efficiencies. They're decreasing their office space. I'm not sure what else they're doing, but they're decreasing the administrative overhead, and they're going to take the money saved from that and put it toward keeping the shelters open.
Now, please explain to me what had happened as far, when you tried to communicate with the mayor's office recently.
Sure. SHARC went down to City Hall on November 1st, and while there, I filled out a paper form, a request for a meeting with the mayor. And on the 13th, I checked my email to see if there was any response, and there wasn't. So I went to Facebook and I put a comment on the mayor's Facebook page. And the following day, the 14th, I got a call from a lady in the mayor's scheduling office, and she said that they would be working on it. And then on the 16th, I was sent an email by Chris Murphy, who is the mayor's chief of staff. I actually didn't see it until the 20th, and so then I responded, and his email was actually rather facetious. It was entitled "An Offer," and then as I was reading it, he said, "I respect your right to protest, but if you want to have a civil conversation, I'm welcoming you to come to my office." You know, and that was a bit facetious when he said if I want to have a civil conversation. But anyway, I took him up on his offer, and I responded, and then he said, "What about 12:30 Wednesday, the 28th?" But then I went online and I found this blog post at Poverty and Policy, which is written by a friend of mine named Catherine Bayer, and it explains how the mayor's policies are hurting the homeless. So I emailed that around, and I emailed it to Chris Murphy because his initial email also said that he thought that I had some wrong information about the mayor's priorities. So I emailed this blog post to him, and I showed his name, and I had a bunch of hidden names, including media names, and I said, well, maybe this is what you think I've read, you know, and so anyway, he got insulted by me BCCing people, and he decided to call off the meeting, and from there it just got kind of ugly. He said that he never called it off, but if you read the actual language of the email, it sounds like he's really thinking strongly about calling off the meeting. And a long story short, the meeting never happened, but we at SHARC are going to keep on pushing this issue. We're going to talk about the mayor's inaccessibility and the fact that he's not so transparent. Oh, and what I also found out was that when Chris Murphy became the chief of staff, that he had had a meeting with the media, and it didn't go too well because he was trying to muzzle them, and they pushed back, and it got kind of ugly. That tells you what kind of guy he is.
Okay. We are going to contact Chris Murphy at the office of the mayor. Eric, we want to thank you for coming out this morning, and we hope to speak to you again.
All right, thank you.
And take care.
Sorry, underdog. Well, that gives you some idea on my latest arch enemy, Chris Murphy. Let me get over to SHARC at CCNV Shelter 425 2nd Street Northwest. Join us every Monday at 1 p.m. Such a shame that in our nation's capital we have homeless sleeping on the streets. Here in poverty-ridden Southeast, even here in Georgetown. Hey guys. Build it tight and right. Great job on my dome. Everyone stop and look at this handsome fella in the dome. Oh me. Oh my. It is me. Providing services to the homeless in my day center. These dome homes are just what we need to get homeless off the streets. These budget cuts are ridiculous and may lead to shelters closing. Hey, this is a nice house for the homeless, finally CCNV. With over 1,000 people in this building at any time during the year. All homeless. NDC is cutting human services budget that may put many homeless out in street. Okay, let's get ready for the meeting. SHARC. Shelter. Housing. And. Respectful. Change. Mondays. 1 p.m. 425 2nd Street Northwest. CCNV Shelter. Drop-in Center.